Welcome to chapter 40, the book of Ezekiel, a vision of the city. And this is the beginning of the new section, final section in the book of Ezekiel, 8 chapters, 40 to 48, in one vision. One of the largest, or the, how would you say that, broadest visions that are mentioned in the Bible. This is 10 chapters long. It begins and it talks about the city, and then it, instead of going from the large to the small, it seems to go from the small to the large. It'll go into the house, which is what would be called like the temple area, which includes the temple, which is within, and it's a walled area, and then goes into describing that area, then the temple, and then the priesthood, the sacrifices that are going to be given, and then it goes into the size of the holy place where the hegemon lives and the priesthood lives, the sons of Zadok, and explains all of that, and then it goes from there out into the land itself of Israel, the borders from the top of, from the entrance to Hamath down to Dedan, and then the divisions of the tribes, and then at the end it mentions that the name of the city will be given at the time of that, of when the city is there. It's not Jerusalem. There you can look at maps. I was looking at maps on Ezekiel's city, and they all seem to want to put it in Jerusalem, but it's obvious as we go through it's not. The location is east of the Lake of Galilee on a high mountain. Same mountain probably is where Ezekiel is taken here at the beginning. It says, and it came to pass in the 5th and the 20th year, so 25th year of our captivity, in the first month, the 10th of the month, in the 14th year after the capturing the city, in that day, the hand of the Lord came upon me. Well, let's go to our timeline here. We'll see the last one is the 25th year, and that is the 25th year, the 14th year of the capturing of the city. And then the 30th year is chapter 1, verse 2, where he starts to write all of this. It actually starts off at the end. But it is what it is. And so the hand of the Lord came upon him, and it led me in a vision of God into the land of Israel. Maybe he wasn't there. He was over in the area of Babylon or someplace going towards Babylon. And it put me upon a high mountain, an exceedingly high mountain, which was probably Mount Meron, where the city would be, and which is east of the Lake of Galilee. It was the highest mountain in Israel. Mount Hermon was actually in Lebanon at that time. So this was the highest mountain of Israel, and he saw upon it as a construction of a polios, a metropolis, comes from that, the polis, a construction of a city before me. And he brought me there, and behold, a man. And his appearance was as the appearance of shining brass, and in his hand was a string measure of builders and a reed measure, and he set them at the gate. Now, at the beginning, we had a man that appeared above, a vision of what looked like a man appeared above the firmament, above the throne, which was above the firmament, and he had it called electru, which was bronze, molten bronze, which is the same as brass, but molten bronze is something that's running, and brass is a solid object that's after it's cooled off, it turns into brass, and it's shining brass, similar to the man, but here the shining brass, it's different. And so as we see that, I was thinking, well, now, where else did I see that? Well, Revelation 1:15, it says, and one likened to Son of Man, then it goes into 15, and his feet were likened to fine brass, as in a furnace being with fire. And then in Revelation 2:18, it says, thus says the Son of God, the one having his eyes as flame of fire, and his feet likened to fine brass. So I believe this was a theophany of the Lord God appearing to Ezekiel. Now you can argue whether that theophany of when it's in another place, it's actually the same person, or if it's just a different person, different name. You could argue that, I suppose, till doomsday, whether it was you want to give him the name of Jesus or it was another person, that it was a manifestation of God. So this is what Ezekiel saw, this person, man, and he had a spartion in his in his hand. It says a spartion, a string measure of builders, and sort of like a tape measure, where you have a twine and maybe knots where you would do it today with every foot if it were in the United States, or every so many meters. I don't know what they do in the metric city countries, but they have knots so you would know exactly what it was. And a reed measure, and the reed was later here we'll go down, it's a columos. It was about 9 foot long, 9 foot, 10 foot, and it was a reed made out of reed that comes out of the swampy areas around Egypt, just as you would find on a fly fisherman's rod. It's made out of a columos, a reed, and they make fly fishermen, and there could be 9 feet long easily. And so this was probably marked off also. And he set them at the Pelis. Now I put 4439 under the green because it does not appear in our English derivatives book. You can add it. Now I chose the English derivative word pylon coming from that. Now that may be pushing it a little bit, but if I'm wrong, at least you'll be able to remember pylon with the gate, Pelis. And the man said to me, so he could speak, you see, O son of man, an imperative, with your eyes behold, and with your ears hear, and arrange in your heart all as much as I show to you, in the imperative again. So do you see it? Take it into your ears, your heart. Everything I'm going to show to you is important to do this. For on account of showing to you, you're entered here. This is the reason why you're here. You can write this down for a future generation, probably for the people when they are going to rebuild the temple, I believe, after the beast. Then they will know somewhat how to build it. And I will show you all, as much as you see in the house of Israel. So he's going to see it all. And behold, there was an enclosure from outside, exothen, the exoderm, exo from outside, the house round about, a wall of some sort. And in the hand of the man was a reed measure, 6 cubits by a cubit of a palm. It's either 9 or 10 feet. I think 9 sounds better because it mentions that measurement here in a few places, which kind of sounds like the size of a reed. But then 6 cubits in a palm. A cubit was 18 inches, so times 6. And then a palm was 8 inches, so someplace 9 or 10 feet. And he measured the area around the wall, the width equal to the reed and the height of it equal to the reed. So the reed around the wall is a measurement. Doesn't mean it's one reed, but that was the equaling to it. That the measurements are equaling to a reed. Now I have a picture here of what we're talking about. This is that whole area that we'll be going into. Somebody came up with, I thought it was the best one I saw so far. How accurate it will be, you'll know in the future, and it will. You'll find out. But there is a Holy of Holies, and I'm not sure what that says up here. The inner temple. I'm not sure and then it's got here the porch, and then the separate place. Oh, and that's the altar. So there is the holy, and there's these three gates that it's going to mention now. And the gates are not just a fence gate where you swing a little fence gate open, but they were huge entrances through these giant walls of these cities. And the gatehouse could be 10 or 15 feet 15 feet cubed, with a gate door that would open up. I was at the monastery of St. John the Theologian, spent 2 or 3 nights there in the island of Patmos. And when you go up to the monastery, it was on a high peak in the island of Patmos. And when you get there, they had, it was all sort of a wall building, monastery, had a wall. And then it was a big, huge gate. It's like maybe, I'm 6 foot tall. It must have been at least 10 or 15 feet tall. And you open this gate, and it was quite a deal. You grab a hold with your hands, and you pull on it. It was heavy gate. So this is the type of gate is talking about that was in there. So it says, and he entered into the gate, the man, looking according to the east, the gate looking according to the east, not the man, by 7 stairs. And he measured now let's see if it has the 7 stairs on the east. The gate of the outer gate, 7 stairs. He's got that on there. That's the north gate, and this is the east gate down here, and the 7 stairs in there. Oh, pretty good so far. And he measured the vestibule. Now, in the red I put feet, so you can help you. I didn't do millimeters. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. It's 9 foot by 9 foot, the vestibule. And a column porch of the gate where you have these columns, steels, they call them, iso, it means equal, isometrics, so forth, equal to the reed in width. So it's 9 by 9, and it was equal to the reed, so that's why I believe that the reed was 9 in width, 9 feet. And the vestibule was equal, that should have been highlighted, ison, to the reed, which is 9 feet in length, and equal to the reed in width. And so the vestibule is that size. And the column porch in the midst of the chambers, 6 cubits, and that would be 6 cubits is 9 feet, again. And the second vestibule was equal to the reed, which would be 9 feet in width, and equal to the reed in length, 9 feet. And the column porch was 5 cubits, and we have 7.5 feet. A little bit smaller there, the column porch. And I believe that was on the porch is probably here. I think so. Well, we're on the east one. So this at the porch? I'm not sure. Here's the gate, the outer gate. Because then we have the inner gates also. He's probably talking about the outer gate here. And the column porch of the gatehouse neighboring the column porch of the gate was 12 feet. And the portals were 3 feet. And the column porches of the gate were inside. And the column porch of the gate within and the vestibule of the gate in front were 3 on this side and 3 on that side. And there was 1 measure to the 3. So there's 3 there and 3 over here. And then down here, I can't read what it says. But so far we're looking pretty good with that. And he measured the platos, a plate, comes from that word, a derivative, of the door of the gatehouse, the wooden door probably, of 15 feet. Now, the width is 15 feet wide. And the breadth of the gatehouse was 19.5 feet. So that most of that opening was the door. And 1.5 feet assembling in front of the vestibules, and 1.5 feet border on this side and on that side. And the vestibule was 9 feet on this side and 9 feet on that side. And he measured the gate from the wall of the vestibule unto the wall of the vestibule, the width of 37 feet. This gate unto gate. Now, I'm not sure. It looks like he's thinking that this gate here that's the width right there, and it has what there? I think that says 50 cubits. I think. And what did it say here? 25. Well, I'm not sure on that. But and the open space of the column porch of the gate was 90 feet, and to the vestibules of the gate round about. And the open space of the gate outside to the open space of the column porch of the gate inside, so that's probably what he's talking about here, is the, from here to here maybe, the vestibule. Is that the vestibule? Could be. Inside was 75 feet. And there were hidden windows unto the vestibules, and crypte, a crypt is the derivative for that word. And upon or unto the column porches inside the gate of the courtyard round about, and likewise to the pediments windows round about inside. And there were palms for the column porch on this side and that side, palms sticking up. Okay, so now we did pretty good. Now the inner courtyard. And he brought me into the inner courtyard. So that was probably what this person did a good job. The inner courtyard right here. Good as I could do. Couldn't have done that. I was scratching my head how this could all be. I'm not an architect, and I'm not very good at math. And so fortunately, this is just multiplication. And someone did the architecture of it. So thank you, whoever did that. And I took it off the internet. I should find out who did it and give them credit. So now that man brought me into the inner courtyard, the esoteron. The eso is an inner, esoteric, something that when you look at something close. And behold, there were chambers and peristyles of the courtyard round about, 30 chambers in the peristyles. Well, let's see what he did there with the peristyles. No, I don't see any peristyles here. They're like columned area. So I don't know if that was it there. And the stoas, where you walk in between these peristyles, in between these columns, were according to the back of the gates. The peristyle underneath was according to the length of the gates. And he measured the width of the courtyard from the open space of the outer gate unto the inner, unto the open space of the gate inner, looking outside. So in there in between was 150 feet of the one looking according to the east. And then he led me into the north. So that 150 feet in the gates. Now, I would say that from the one gate to the other. Now, the gate looking to the north. So that would be, I believe, the gate of the outer court. Where does it say the north or south? Oh, north gate. So that's the north over here. Very similar. And behold, there was a gate looking towards the Voron. We have the Aurora Borealis. Borealis, the Bora, comes from that, the northern lights, belonging to the outer courtyard. And he measured in it the length of it and the width. That's that outer part. And the vestibule, 3 on this side and 3 on that side, and if that would possibly be 3 cubits. And the portal, and the pediments and its palms. And it was according to the measures of the gate, looking according to the east. Its length was 75 feet. And and its breadth was 37.5 feet. And its windows and pediments and its palms were as the gate looking according to the east. And in 7 steps they ascended unto it. And the pediments were within. And there was a gate to the inner courtyard, looking towards the gate of the north. So that would be that inner gate here. There's looking towards the gate of the north. That's why I'm probably there. In the manner of the gate looking according to the east. Same type of thing. And he measured the courtyard from gate unto gate, 150 feet. So now we getting a little bit of an idea in this area. Now the gate looking to the south. Well, of course, that's this one over here, I would hope. The gate, south gate. And he measured it. Diametrison, diameter comes from that word. English derivatives, 1267.1, not in their English derivatives book. You can add that if you'd like. And the vestibules and the portals and the pediments, according to these, metra, a meter comes from that word, from these measures. And its windows and the pediments round about were as the windows of the columned porch. Its length was 75 feet and 37.5 feet its breadth. And there were 7 steps for it, and pediments within, and its palms were were one on this side and one on that side upon the portals. And there was a gate opposite the gate of the inner courtyard to the south. And he measured the courtyard from gate unto gate. 150 feet was the breadth towards the south. So 150 feet. Towards in between, apparently. Somehow, now whether it's from here to here, it's got 100 cubits. So I'm not exactly sure. There's 100 cubits. There it is. 150 feet. And he brought me into the inner courtyard of the gate towards the south. And he measured the gate according to these measures, and now that's the inner part. And the vestibules and the portals and the pediments according to these measures. And there were windows to it. And to the pediment round about, 75 feet was the length, and its breadth was 37.5 feet, as the others. And its pediments were to the outer courtyard, palms to the portals, and with 8 steps ascending upon it. So now he's got 8 on that one. Let's see what he's got here. Let's see, 8 steps on the inside, 8, and 7 over here. Wow, great job. And he brought me into the inner courtyard, a way according to the east. So now he's went in to the back down to the courtyard. Apparently, he was there, and now he's come back down to the eastern gate again. How come it's not going? Well, that's all right. We'll just do it. I'll just do it manually. And he measured the door according to these measures, metra. And the vestibules and the portals and the pediments were according to these measures, and its windows and the pediments round about. 75 feet was the length, and its breadth was 37.5 feet. And there were pediments opening the inner courtyard, now would be the eastern gate, and palms of its portals on this side and that side, 8 steps ascending upon it. He brought me unto the door towards the north, and he measured according to these measures, and the vestibules and the portals and the pediments and its windows round about. 75 feet was the length, and 37.5 feet the breadth, and the portals of the outer courtyard and the palms were to the portals on this side and that side, and 8 steps were to it. And its chambers and its doorways and its pediments were at the second gate outflow. Now, exactly what he's talking about, the second gate outflow, I'm not sure here. So that they should slay in it the things for a sin offering and the things for an ignorance offering. See, now it doesn't say offering, it's just for sin. And this is what it uses for Jesus became sin for us. And people try to explain that. Well, Jesus was sinless. He was the sin offering. And it's used amartias many places in the Old Testament. So this is what's so wonderful of having the Greek Old Testament to check back these words and their meanings. And the things for the ignorance offering. So now we know that there is going to be sacrifices and there's going to be sins. In ignorance, people are going to be still have sin and still be ignorant. It's not going to be sinless. And according to the no-to, the back of the overflow of the whole burnt offerings, the back, the no-to, we have a notochord for the backbone, or the back of the spine. And looking to the north were 2 tables. According to the back of the other, and to the column porch of the gate were 2 tables, according to the east. 4 tables were on this side, and 4 tables were on that side, according to the back of the gate. Well, let's see if we can find those here, the tables. The 4 tables. There's 4 here, and there's the 4 there. So there they are. Okay, so now we're getting in there. And upon them they slay the things offered for sacrifices. And over against the 8 tables, trapeze, trapeze is a derivative, flat object, over against the 8 tables of the things offered for sacrifices. And there were 4 tables of the whole burnt offerings, having been made of dressed stone. Now there's 4 of them made out of dressed stone. Where are the 4? Well, maybe, I don't know if maybe these are the 4 here. I'm not sure. These are the tables. There's the tables there. That's not there. So maybe these are the 4. Well, it looks like there's 5. And the altar, the 4. Oh, there's the altar. Maybe it's on there. Well, we'll try to figure that out. And so it was dressed stone. Now, as I remember, there's not to be a dressed stone in the earlier temples or the tabernacle. It's to be raw stone. It was 2 2.25 feet in width by 2 cubits and a half was its length, 3.75 feet, and it was 1.5 feet high. So it wasn't real big. And upon them they placed the items which they slew, the whole burnt offerings there, and the things offered in sacrifice. And the things offered in sacrifices should be an S there. Let me add that to that. No, put it on the wrong computer. All right, S. Yeah, S, that's close enough. Sacrifices. And a palm sized, and these shall have a palm size, which would have been 8 inches wide, a dressed stone wave border inside round about. And over the tables on top were roofs to cover up from the rain and the dryness. And he brought me into the inner courtyard. So now he's went into the inner courtyard. I wish I could find those 4 tables that he was talking about. Then they have a cover on them too, a roof. No. Inner courtyard anyway. So now we're in the inner courtyard. And behold, there were 2 inner chambers in the inner courtyard, one according to the back of the gate towards the north, bearing according to the south, and one according to the back of the gate towards the south, looking towards the north. 2 chambers. Well, there's it there, and I'm not sure of the chambers. He's probably not talking about this. Maybe the sides here. And he said to me, this inner chamber looking towards the south is to the priests, keeping the guard of the house. And the inner chamber looking towards the north is to the priests, keeping the guard of the altar. Those are the sons of Zadok, the ones approaching from out of the sons of Levi towards the Lord to officiate to him. Sons of Zadok were the ones that stayed with King David when he fled Absalom, went across the Jordan River, and the Zadok priests stayed with Solomon, David. And he measured the courtyard. The length was 150 cubits and the breadth 150 cubits. And upon its four parts, sides, I think that's what it is, the sides. And the altar was before the house. So yeah, there's the altar right here, and there's the house up here, temple, the house. And I guess these areas over here were for those different priests. And he brought me up unto the column porch of the house, and measured the portal of the column porch. It was 7.5 feet, was the width on this side, and 7.5 feet on that side, and the portal. So that would have been something over here on the sides. And the breadth of the doorway was 21 feet. So probably 21 and then 7.5 twice, measured 21, 15, 21, 36, 21. Yeah, 36. Now, the other one I mentioned before, that the door taking up most of that, probably wasn't the case. It was probably it should have been added instead of divided and taken away. Anyway, the side pieces of the door of the column porch, 4.5 feet on this side and 4.5 feet on that side. Side pieces. And the length of the column porch was 30 feet, and the breadth was 18 feet. And upon the 10 stairs they ascended into it. Now let's see if we can go find the stairs. 10 stairs. I don't see 10 stairs anywhere, do you? No. I think that would be up in here, these 10 stairs. The reason I'm bouncing around here is because my camera is right in front of in the middle. And there were columns upon the column porch, steel. One from here on this side and one from here on that side. So now we have got the overview of the outer part. Chapter 41 will continue, and we will go further towards the inside and find out what's going to be happening there at this city on the high mountain. Hope you'll join us in chapter 41, and God bless.